Welcome everyone to the PJScast. I'm your host Pierce, joined alongside of my good pal Dylan. So here we are. We're in April. We're in the home stretch now. Only a couple of weeks left until the playoffs. Pierre LeBrun just announced, I think it was either today or yesterday, that the playoffs are starting on April 20th. So yeah, less than 3 weeks away. The games are starting to meet a lot more now, even than they were before. Teams are clinching playoff spots. We're getting down to the last little bit here, so I'm really looking forward to talk about the Blackhawks because I think there is a lot of positives happening with this organization. So before we get into the broader NHL talk, we're gonna talk about the Blackhawks, who had a 7-7 March. That's right, folks. They went 500 in the month of March. So last podcast we did last week, they played a few games. They played the Flames, beat them 3-1, lost 2-0 to the Senators. I remember we were trying to record a podcast last Thursday, but we had so many distractions, and we're just like, oh, we're gonna end it off. But then, like they did last year, going facing a Pennsylvanian team, they beat the Flyers 5-1, who are fighting for their playoff lives right now. So much as a matter of fact, they got a goalie over from Russia to try to help them out. So that and more later. But first, we're obviously going to talk about the Blackhawks here. A lot of positives to take away from the main team this month, and not only the main team, but in Rockford and all the junior leagues right now. Where do you want to start off with this? Because we could talk about the Hawks, we could talk about Rockford, we could talk about the prospects. We got a lot of good things to talk about, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could just start with the main roster.
Sure.
They've had their best month of the season. It only took till March to get it, but that's all right. I think we mentioned
Everyone's
earlier.
getting healthy, so that helps.
Yeah, that and like their schedule was a little nuts to start the year, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and then they're picking up a couple here and there. Like that Flyers one, I feel like is a big one for them. That's their third
Mm-hmm.
win in Philly in the last 25 years. One of them being the Cup winner in 2010, the other one being last year. So they don't
Well,
win in
yeah,
Philly
I
a
was
lot.
thinking of Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking about that. Did they already broke like the drought last year, right? I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Reese Johnson broke the drought last year for him.
Oh
But
my god. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, so
Because like
they
before that,
got
it
it.
was like they had besides the game 6 of 2010, like they hadn't won there since I think since like 96 or 97 or something, like
Yep.
25 years before we were
It's
born.
been a long time, that's for sure. And they're playing good hockey right now. Mrazek's looked solid to end the year. I think he had one shaky game um
That's really
last
been
week.
it though.
And if anything, it was a shaky period, and like he can be given those with his performance. Um, he's been well above expectation. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind there. I think another guy who deserves a shout out is Joey Anderson. I think he has performed
Hell
very
yeah.
well this month. He's basically earned a spot on the roster next year in my eyes. I don't know how he's
Absolutely.
not in the top six next year. Um, and that flexibility to just kind of put him wherever and he's still putting up points or he's still playing strong defensively, like that's something you need when this team becomes good and his cap hit's not going to be huge. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just another good bargain bin find that was a part of the Sam Lafferty and McCabe trade. Like the fact that that's the piece that's doing something right now. I mean, McCabe's been great in Toronto, but it's shocking to be honest because I don't like. I think we all thought he was just a throwaway player last year, and
Yeah.
he's played himself into a much bigger role than that, which is kind of the story of this whole team. Like you look at guys like Prolino and Dickinson and Mrazek all got extensions. Blackwell, I think, is going to get an extension for the way he's played that in the year. Like if you play hard, you'll have a spot on this team, and I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes to the ones that aren't right now. Another guy I think is Lucas Reichel. He's found his game the last couple of weeks. He's just playing harder. He's playing more aggressive, which is something that they've been wanting out of him all season. The points are starting to come to, which is
Mm-hmm.
a nice touch on
Yes.
all of that. But it's more than the points. It's he's actually playing a 200-foot game, which is not something he was doing a couple months ago. Yeah, those are the names that come to mind to me right now. I mean, obviously Bedard and Kurashev are doing what they do, which is just score a bunch of points. I think
Bedard
Kurashev
named rookie of the month. Yeah, I think Kershev had the same amount of points as Bedard. Like both had 17 points in 14 games. Like Kershev might hit 55 points.
Yep. He's having an impressive year to say the least. There's no doubt about it. I think that in like the goal he had against Philly, he just grip. He didn't even grip it or rip it. That was right off the table in Bedard, and he went top shelf. Like, he didn't have that confidence to shoot the puck like that even a year ago. So
No.
it just speaks volumes on his development. And, like, yeah, it might be the Bedard effect, but, like, you need line mates that can keep up with him. And clearly that's the only one that can on this team at the moment. So
far,
nice to see.
yeah. It
And
it's
Bedard's
always
just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and Alex Vlasic too, and Korchinski has showed a lot of promise. Like again, like I said, it's been a really rough season, but they're picking it up. And with the winning streak, it's easier to highlight like what is good about this roster, but also in Rockford and in all the junior leagues that they have their prospects in. And always the argument that gets me, it's like, oh, this player is only good because they played with this good player. Like, look at Jake Gensel leaving Pittsburgh and going to Carolina and turning them from like a really good team to like a great elite team. Yeah, it helps playing with one of the best players to ever play the game of hockey, but I think you have to be skilled and smart to play with those kind of players. So I don't know. With Kurashev, like there's clearly a chemistry there, and will he be the lineman of the future? I don't know, but the chemistry is there. Kurashev is clearly skilled and smart enough to play with them. It's not always about having the three best players on one line. Well, it does help. Like it's about having guys that mesh well together. Again, look at Pittsburgh, like Kunitz, Crosby, Dupuis, and Jake Gensel. Though I think Jake Gensel is better, but yeah, it just even like we see Connor Bedard getting a rookie of the month. You go down to Rockford, they're making a push for the playoffs right now. Cole Gutman was named player of the month in the AHL, I believe. Like he's almost 2 points per game. It's crazy. And he's now over
11
point per
goals
game in
in
the
11
AHL.
games. That's insane.
Yeah. Like I think that should like earn him a spot on the team next year. Like we've seen the glimpses of brilliance with Cole Gutman on this team that he could potentially be a third line center, like solid defensively and can contribute offense here and there. So yeah, it's promising to see all that. Drew Comesso has been a lot better as of recently. So yeah, it'll be nice to see maybe the Blackhawks can hit 25 wins. Maybe we can watch, the Ice Hogs make a push for the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they're guaranteed to make the playoffs. I was reading like how the standings work. I think it's 5 teams from each division, and they have like a best of 3 for the lower seeds. I think that's how it works, but Rockford's pretty much in there. It'd be nice to see them go on a deep run, but did see that Nolan Allen is out 3 to 4 weeks, which kind of sucks. But they got a few nice pieces down there for sure. Even looking at like their other prospects otherwhere, this will kind of go into our next topic with like talking about the Frozen Four. Like Frank Nazar is still going. We'll have to wait for his decision on whether he's going to play for the Blackhawks for probably another couple weeks now. I think Ryan Green is still going. Same with Aiden Thompson. So yeah, right now I think there is a lot to look forward to, and then the draft is less than 3 months away. The draft lottery is going to be in a month, so I don't know. I'm excited right now. It's having the sun out definitely helps a lot, and having warmer weather. But yeah, that stretch from like December to February was so rough. But now that you got all the players coming back, you're starting to see which players are it's tryouts. What players are making their case to be on the team next year? We obviously know the extensions with Mrazek, Foligno, and Dickinson. Like we know Bedard's going to be there next year. We know Vlasic and Korchinski will be there, but there's a lot of these fringe guys that are battling for their career right now. Like, I mean, Colin Blackwell, he wasn't sure if he was going to play hockey again. I think he's played his way onto the roster next year. Same with Joey Anderson and someone like Cole Gutman in the minors. You're starting to see things piece together, and if you add another couple forwards in free agency, maybe another right-handed defenseman. Like I'm not saying this team is a playoff team, but I think next year, like 30, 35 wins, I don't think is, I think that's within the realm of possibility. So yeah, I don't know if you got any thoughts.
No, I mean, just keep building off it, and like that. At the end of the day, the draft lottery is a crapshoot, so I'm not going to get too hung up on winning a couple games late in the year. Like, unless Anaheim
last year, no.
loses out and they fall into like last again, but like even then, oh no, they still have a top 5 pick. I can't be moved by that at this point. So just keep playing good hockey. That's kind of where I'm at this point. Build off it in the
keep
next
it going. Yeah,
keep her going.
We talked about keep going, bud. Yeah, they played the Flyers. Flyers are in the heat of a playoff spot. I think they're still in one right now, but like if they keep losing, Blackhawks could be part of another playoff spoiler. They play the Islanders in about an hour. They're on the outside looking in, but they could really sink their chances there too. So I want to see that. I want them to play spoiler here. Who do they play over the next few days? Dallas. Dallas is pretty much they're going to win the Central there.
Dallas,
Wild. I mean, they
Minnesota,
can.
St. Louis, Nashville, Carolina, Vegas. Okay, yeah, they just play a bunch of fringe playoff teams or actual playoff teams. All right, time to know how to shut up. We'll see where they are right now. You're not playing.
Do they play the Blues? You said.
I don't think so. Oh yeah, they do. They play in St. Louis next Wednesday.
They could knock them out just like they did in 2018 because looking at the final wild card spot, they also play the Kings too. So the final wild card spot, the Kings have 87 points, 74 games played. Blues have 75 games, 84 points. I mean, I don't think St. Louis is going to make it, but again, Blackhawks could completely knock them out. Same with the Wild, though. I think they're kind of out, but yeah, I want them to play spoil. All right, so my internet went out. I apologize for that. One more point I wanted to make before we kind of wrap up the Blackhawks is like Rockford's always been like rehab for a lot of the players that started off the year rough but have now come back up to play well, and not even just this year, but players that played in it last year. Like the big example is Alex Vlasic spending 1 year in Rockford really helped them out, and players like Wyatt Kaiser who went down and like really like you saw Wyatt Kaiser in camp this year. Like he looks such a lock to make the team. He did make the team, but he just really struggled to get up to speed in the NHL. But went back down to the minors, not as much pressure on him. He gets to play all situations, and that kind of helped equip him to come back up to Chicago, be a more complete player. And same with Lucas Reichel, like just the compete level wasn't there, and like nothing was there with Reichel, and now he just comes back up a way more confident player. So it's nice to see, in Rockford that they're making some development, and the players that go down there and come back up are better for it. So that's one more point I kind of wanted to make. Let's get into some playoff talk here. I think the West is pretty much set in shape unless there is just like a catastrophic drop off by like the Kings and the Blues take over. But that's the only thing I can see. The Predators, like, not only have they firmly, taken a playoff spot after being dead to right, like in December, January, but they have a chance to catch up, maybe to Winnipeg. I don't know. There's actually, now that I look at it, it's like 6 points and game in hand, but yeah, they're gonna be the first wild card team, and any team that wins the division, like, I'm not looking forward to playing Nashville. And granted, for the longest time, Vegas was the second wild card, but now they moved up to third. They're kind of starting to find it now. Los Angeles is there, but I look at all 8 teams in that playoff bracket, and I think all of them are deserving of being there because we're watching the mid-off happen in the East right now with like the Flyers, the Caps, the Red Wings. But I look at the West, all those teams I think are deserving of being there, and I think there's a legitimate case for any of those teams to maybe not win a cup, but go on a very deep playoff run. So as it stands right now, the playoff matchups are Dallas versus LA, Colorado versus Winnipeg, Vancouver versus Nashville, and my favorite, Edmonton versus Vegas. I can't like you can make the argument for I would at least 2 of these. Like these could be conference finals. Edmonton Vegas should be a conference final. Like it's ridiculous how many good Western teams there are, and I think we go through pendulum shifts where like swings where the East is better. I think we're now back at the West being better. Like goddamn, it's crazy. Who do you think is the team to beat in the West?
I'm going to sound like a broken record at this point. It's the team I've had picks in September. It's always Dallas.
Dallas.
It's the team no one talks about, and the team that's ahead of everyone. It's just funny how that works.
Yeah.
You hear more about Vancouver, you hear more about Colorado, you hear more about McDavid, you hear more about the Cup champs, you hear more about Nashville, but Dallas is kicking in at 103 points, and they're sniffing around a President's Trophy, and I don't think they're slowing down anytime soon. So
no,
that's still my team to beat. They've been knocking on the door the last couple of years. This might be the year they break through that glass ceiling. Yeah, I mean, like obviously McKinnon's on earth beater mode, world beater mode right now, so there's that. But like you said, the West is wide open right now. I just think Dallas is, until they get knocked out, that's my favorite right now. They have the goaltending, they have the defense, they have just waves of scoring, especially with Stankovic inserted into that lineup. Like they're going to be 14 forwards
so
deep,
much.
probably.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about. Like, let me pull up Dallas' stats real quick so I can put it into perspective, like what I'm talking about, because I'm pretty sure their leading goal scorer is Wyatt Johnston. Like,
I hate that too. Like both Johnson and Stankoven were guys in their drafter, especially Stankoven, where I'm like, these guys are going to be top 6 guys, and here they are, like 3 years later, and they're key parts of a potential cup winning team in Dallas. And I think to your point, why Dallas I don't think is getting enough headlines as say Colorado or Edmonton, because Colorado were so focused on Nate McKinnon, and rightfully so. Like that Art Ross race is crazy right now. Go to Edmonton, McDavid's gonna get 100 assists. Like it's crazy. Like Edmonton is headlined, of course, by Draisaitl and McDavid, and they got depth too. Like, I think Bouchard isn't being talked about enough, but the Dallas Stars, again, you bring it up, they just have a little bit of everything. Like they don't maybe have that McDavid McKinnon level player, but they also have a guy who's got 100 points before, Jason Robertson. Like Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin are complete afterthoughts on this team. Like Rupe Henson, Joe Pavelski are so good. Like again, just so much depth. The defense has gotten better with Chris Tanev, like Miro Heiskanen and Thomas Harley are legitimate top 2 defensemen, and goaltending. Like I don't think Andrew's been great this year, but I feel if he turns it on, like yeah, they're just such a well-oiled machine there in
yep.
Dallas.
They have 10 players with at least 40 points. They have 6 20 goal scorers. They have 8 players with 15 goals. Like their leading goal getter is Wyatt Johnson with 29, but Hintz has 28, Robertson has 27, Pavelski has 26, Duchesne has 62 points. Like, whoa.
Oh, I forgot about Matt Duchesne. Yeah, he's just an
quietest 62-point season ever, by the way. Best free agent signing of the offseason. Mason Marchment has 50 points. Like Thomas Harley has 15 goals. Like this team is
as a defenseman, that is crazy.
Depth. And Logan Stankoven's got 12 points in 17 games, and he's a +9. So there's that.
I hate that so much. I hate that he's in our division.
Yeah, and like you said, if Odger can put the pieces together at the right time, like that's the thing with their goaltending. Like him and Wedgwood have been about the same. So like if one falters, just throw the other in. They're in a really good spot right now, man. I think they can go line for line with almost every team in the NHL. And that's something not a lot of teams can say.
Yeah, Jake Onger, 900 save percentage, 287 goals against average. Yeah, not amazing, but again, I feel he could really turn that on come playoff time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, because that series they played against Calgary, 954 save percentage. Like almost single-handedly stole him that series, but last year, not so great, 895. Like I think there's a lot of reasons why they lost against Vegas, but yeah, Onger not playing great kind of sunk them there. But I feel he's got to have that in the back of his mind. I feel he could go on like a Vasilevsky run where you're not getting the puck by me today or for 2 months.
How many times have we seen a goalie not have a great year and have an elite cup run? Like Braden Holtby's always the first to come.
Yeah, I was gonna say Braden Holtby. Yeah, that's a good one.
Dallas is still my team to beat. It's been like that since September. I'm not faltering. We're still here.
I respect that. Yeah.
What about you?
I've switched a lot because like
Dallas is such Oiler fever.
I do, man. Like they gotta win, man. They really gotta win. You have two of the best. They have to. You have the 2 best players on planet Earth. Like they're again, they didn't make the splashy move at the deadline like I hoped they would have. But I mean, like just because you didn't make the big splashy move doesn't mean you can't win the Stanley Cup. I think Adam Henrique has fit in fine perfectly in Edmonton. Like even Sam Carrick has been fine. I still kind of question the defense, but man, I just don't know how you defend playoff McDavid and Draisaitl, and I really like if you just
Oh,
get
I know how.
have
Can I answer this question, class?
let's hear it.
Double axe handle Draisaitl in the hands.
That does
I
help
can't
a
do
lot.
that. Petrangelo did it. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. That's the way you beat them. You have to hurt one of them. And that, like, the last 3 years, that's why they've lost. Draisaitl had one leg one year. They slashed his hands off the other year. I'm not trying to sound like that, but that's the plan.
You know what might help them prevent other teams from doing that, or hell, even make the Oilers do that. A guy named Corey Perry.
Corey Perry should just do that to whoever the best player is they're playing round one. Like, you set the tone against Vegas right out the chute. Like, who can afford to miss time in that team? Connor Brown. Do you want to be projected as a hero in the city of Edmonton?
It's time you earn your $3 million bonus or whatever.
It's time to double axe handle Jack Eichel. Let's go.
Oh, I was gonna say go for Mark Stone's spleen again.
Well, that too, but like I don't mean to sound like a hack, but it's just like
no, that's what it is. That's the way you gotta do to win a cup, man. I mean, I'm thinking of the 2019 Cup final where you get the Boston Bruins who just get away with everything. And the Blues gave them the best taste of their own medicine, and that's how they won the cup. That was the same last year with Florida. Like they were just bullying teams, like especially the Leafs, the Hurricanes. But then you get to the final, and the Vegas just beats them at their own game. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta out dirty the other team. I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, we've seen teams get players to build towards that. I'm not gonna say it. Like I guess Edmonton did, but yeah, there's going to be more questions than answers if they lose. That's for sure. Winning cures everything, and you're going into a pivotal offseason with Draisaitl for starters. Yeah. So you might want to go in on good terms and not another second round exit.
Or I would say at the very worst, like to keep that open, you know, to extend Draisaitl and McDavid, like you go to the conference finals and you take whoever to 6-7 games. But like if you're second round loss is not an option. Conference final sweep like against Colorado, not an option. Like if you lose in the conference final, you have to at least get to the cup final. If you lose in the conference final, it's got to be like a hard fought 6-7 games.
That's a good start.
Yeah, that helps too.
Yeah. I don't know. Edmonton, I have more faith in Edmonton than anyone else in the Pacific. I mean, Vegas, obviously, but I need to see them healthy first.
I think that's the big thing with them. Their start, because after that deadline, there was a while I'm like, ooh, they're really, you know, falling off. Like I never thought they were gonna miss it, the playoffs, but man, it's getting a little too close for comfort there. But yeah, they're starting to win more, and yeah, once they get back to the playoffs, they're gonna have all their guys ready to go. Maybe not fully at 100%, but just the thought of a Jack Eichel, Thomas Hertl, Chandler Stevenson, William Crow, like. Not all those guys are going to play center. You're going to shift them the wing. Like, it's crazy just how much depth option they have. Their defense is so good. And, I mean, Aiden Hill is kind of faltered, but now I've seen Logan Thompson is stepping up. So they literally have a pitching rotation of goalies they can just throw in there. Oh, one guy's not hot. We'll throw the other guy in there. And we'll do it mid-playoffs, too, like with Brossoit, and then they went to Hill. So,
yeah, Vegas is just one of those teams. I need to see how they look once game one of the playoffs starts. I'll know what they're going to do at that point.
To me, they almost feel like the 2015 Blackhawks, where they're not going in great, but you know they can flip the switch and just be utterly dominant once they get to the playoffs, and they have all their players. Again, not back to health, but they're all there, and they'll do whatever they can to win, as we saw last year.
I mean, hell, we saw what they do anything to win at this deadline. People forget they have Noah Hannafin making $1 million or something like that. It's crazy.
Anthony Mantha too. Yeah.
Anthony Manthony.
Who would win, Anthony Manthony or Zachary on the attackery?
Zach Tappan, Merchant Hyman. Next question.
Because his parents bought his way to 50 goals or something like that. I don't know. God damn, man. Like, I'm not even going to get into that. So, as it stands right now in the West, the teams that have clinched are Dallas, Colorado, and Vancouver. So, yeah, we kind of talked about. So we'll go through the matchups as they stand right now. So Edmonton, Vegas. We'll wrap that up. Who do you think wins? If playoffs are starting today, who do we think is taking that?
You're not gonna like my answer. I'm
It's
just
Vegas,
taking
isn't it?
Vegas. I don't.
That's
I need
so
to.
tough because that's a
I
conference
need to see
final
it.
right there.
I need to see it with Edmonton. They don't get an excuse, just like Toronto never gets an excuse. I don't care who you face, you got to beat them. Period. And what better way to start off a redemption run than beat the team that knocked you out last year? How many times have we seen that
Mhm.
spark a playoff run?
And ended your 16-game winning streak.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
There's a rivalry there.
Yep. But I still think Vegas takes it.
No, I agree with that. I think it goes 6 or 7. As an someone in Edmonton, I want to see the Oilers win the cup, or at least go to the cup final, like just for that hype to build up and potential cup parade. But as a pure hockey fan, Edmonton Vegas first round, like it does not get any better than that. Like I still think though the NHL should go back to 1 through 8, but I mean, who fucking knows? Like that's never gonna happen. They might even expand the playoffs now, but I do kind of get the side of, well, at least you got all your teams at the best health as they can in the first round, so you have all the best series, and it kind of dwindles down. And you got 4 games on every night. You can flip and switch between games through intermissions and stuff. There's late games on, there's early games on, so I kind of get that. But man, it truly sucks that one of those two teams has to go out in the first round. It really does. Go Dallas and Nashville. I mean, that's wait, is it Dallas? No, sorry, that's Dallas, Los Angeles. I was gonna say if it was Dallas, yeah, I was gonna say if it was Dallas, Nashville, I'd be like, okay, probably Dallas, but I think Nashville could give them 6 or 7. Um, but no, I think Dallas kind of runs over LA. If I'm being honest,
Yep.
I think you'd agree with me. Here's more. I think this is more interesting. Vancouver versus Nashville. I mean, great year for Vancouver, but I honestly I'm picking Nashville there.
Yeah, I think I am too. I mean, if Vancouver wins, cool, but I really don't care. I just think Vancouver has been so meh the last 3 months.
Yeah, that's such a hot start. Like they're lucky they're even holding on to first in the division still.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they'd be tough in either way because if they drop down from it, they would have to face Vegas. So
Facts.
Take your poison there.
Yeah, they're gonna have an interesting run to say the least.
What about Colorado, Winnipeg?
Colorado.
That's an interesting. Colorado, damn, not a Winnipeg truther. PDO merchants, even though Vancouver I think has a higher PDO.
Nope. Winnipeg's another case of there's levels to star talent. Unless Connor Hellebuyck wants to be like a 940 goaltender, then be my guess. But I don't know. Nathan McKinnon's just not going to take no for an answer in round 1. So that's my 2 cents.
So yeah, as it stands right now, like I would have Dallas over LA, Nashville over Vancouver. Yeah, I would probably go Colorado over Winnipeg, and then probably Vegas over Edmonton. So if I'm not mistaken, that would be Vegas, Nashville, and then Dallas and Colorado. Dallas and Colorado in the second round would be cool. And so would Vegas and Nashville. Honestly, the atmospheres at those games would be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would.
I think
it'd be a zoo.
I think Vegas goes on the conference final. I think we're either going to get Vegas Colorado conference final or Vegas Dallas conference final rematch from last year. Either way, I think we can
If I put money where my mouth is, I think it's Dallas Colorado or Dallas Vegas. But you never know.
Because that 2021 series that they played a couple years ago, the Avs and the Knights, that was a pretty good series. Like Avs were so close to going up 3-0 in that series, in Vegas is like, now we're just gonna win, but then we'll lose to Montreal. I think of that 2021 playoff run. I'm like, there's so many good series there, and then it's just like the Canadian division ruined everything. Mickey Mouse, you might even say. So yeah, that's the Western Conference. Let's move on to the East and take a look at the playoff picture as of right now. So playoffs start today. It would be Rangers versus the Capitals. It would be Bruins versus Lightning. I would love that. Florida versus Toronto. That'd be my favorite series to watch in the East. And then Carolina and Philadelphia, which looking at like the whole playoff picture, I'm like, I don't really care for that, to be honest. What do you think about the Rangers and Capitals? I think the Rangers win that, but I think the Capitals, Ovechkin, that team has nothing to lose. I think the Capitals could give them a good run for their money, like 6-7 games. And whenever they play in the past, they've always gone 6-7 games. It feels like those series.
Rangers in 5. I just think they'll get outclassed talent-wise. Washington will. And Charlie Lindgren's only going to be elite for so long. That's my just.
Bruins Lightning. This one's interesting to me because, well, Bruins have way more points. Lightning have had their number the last couple times in the playoffs, and you can never bet against Tampa Bay. And Boston's been kind of meh for a while now, whereas Tampa Bay, they've been hot. I think I'm going Tampa in that series.
Yeah, Tampa in 7. I think at the end of the day, the star power is just there's more in Tampa's direction. Tampa had a long offseason last offseason for the first time, and God knows how long they needed it. And I just think at the end of the day, Boston's going to have to choose which goalie they're going to ride with and not be 2 games late to the party with it like they were last year. Tampa doesn't have that problem. They're just going to ride Vasilevsky till the cows go home. So I just think no Bergeron's going to play a key factor in this because I don't care how good their core centers has been in Boston this year. They're not going to be able to guard Brayden Point and all them. It's not going to happen. And the big thing is Boston's gone to overtime like 30 times this year. They go overtime
15 times in overtime.
3-on-3. So, yeah, Tampa.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tampa's been kind of meh to start, but yeah, they've really turned on. There was even a while where like, oh, they might miss the playoffs down. We might get like 11th, 12th, or 13th, but now they've put their foot on the gas pedal. They know when to turn it on, and they're more well rested to play in the playoffs. Probably since they lost, they got swept by the Blue Jackets.
Yep, that's
4 or 5 years ago.
You can't take into account how important rest is.
Mm-hmm. Like they went to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. Like how? I think that was the first time that's been done since the 80s. Like I think it was the Islanders who did that. Like I don't even think the Oilers did that. 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. Fucking Carolina and Philadelphia. Like that's just Carolina, there's nothing fun about that to me.
Sorry. Like Philly doesn't have a goalie, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Like they have below NHL level goaltending on a playoff team, which is very unfortunate, but like you're not going to win shit with that. And Carolina is the hottest team in the NHL right now. So that's the only reason I'm being very blunt with that one.
Yeah, yeah. I would even
maybe it's torch magic. Shit. Who knows? Maybe it's torch magic, like it is in 2019 all over again.
I almost feel like if Washington made it to that spot, I feel that would be more entertaining than Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, well, yeah, Philadelphia is just I don't really care for them, to be honest. This Philadelphia team, I don't really care for them. Florida and Toronto, a rematch of last year's second round. I love to see this. I go Panthers again because I think we might have a rematch of last year's conference finals. The same 4 teams. All of them are that good, and all of them are playing that well. Because I think Carolina is going to beat is obviously going to beat Philadelphia. Panthers are going to win. We're going to get battle Florida in the second round potentially. I think Florida beats them, and then Carolina would play the Rangers. I think Carolina could beat them. I really think we get Dallas Vegas conference final, and then same thing with Carolina and Florida. Again, honestly.
Yeah, that's exactly what the NHL wants. The conference Final Four again, back-to-back years. But yeah, I'm on the fence about Florida right now because I think they're really good, but I also think like the Leafs did a lot of shit to get more annoying come playoff time, and I don't know. I just don't think they're going to get punched in the mouth as hard as they did that last series last year. There came like
No, I think.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I think they push it 6-7 games. I mean, it could really go either way. Like, there's got to be a series where Matthews, Marner, and Nylander just say fuck it and take over. Like
Yeah,
that has to happen at some point.
Yeah, it was last year.
That,
It was last year against Tampa.
but like even more so, I think. Like I think they can do it. Like repeat. They could do it again.
They should. I mean, they have the fucking talent. I'm picking Leafs in 7 out of spite. I don't care.
Damn.
Figure it out. Figure it out. But yeah, I want to pick Carolina Dallas as my cup final pick, but it's like that's not happening. One of these teams is going to fucking fold, and I don't know which one it is. I'm leaning that it's Carolina because they always do. But I don't know. Carolina needs to win a conference final game first before I pick them to ever win a cup. Like that's the whole thing. Dallas has got.
They have. Yeah, they got to the cup final. Stars have done everything except win the cup.
Facts. But
yeah, Carolina
or New York makes the dream run. Like I could see that. The East is like 5 teams, I think, that are just in the mix for who's going to come out on top. The West is literally every team except second wild card. Well, and like
yeah,
for me, but
yeah, I'm kind of meh on the Jets, but for like,
kind of
I think meh. That's it. Back to Winnipeg. But yeah, looking at the West, I think Dallas can make a run, of course. Same with Colorado. I think Colorado has that like vengeance that like, okay, we're a year removed from our cup or 2 years removed from our cup. You know, we lost to Seattle in the first round last year. Like we want to come back. I think McKinnon can go back on it. Like he can just carry that team to the conference final at least, potentially even cup final. Winnipeg, I don't know. I gotta see it. Vancouver, I can see them doing it because they have like they did it again. They did it in 2020. It's different. It's weird circumstances, but like Demko has been there. Like they know how to win a rounder too. Same with Hughes. Same with Pedersen. Like they have the stars in place where I'm like, okay, they can maybe get to the conference final. Edmonton. Again, the sky's the limit, but you got to play Vegas in the first round. Vegas, they've been there, they've done that. Nashville, to me, they're like the big like wild card. Like I think they can make a run to the conference final because they're just playing so hot. And then LA, meh, right now, meh.
See, but here's my thing with LA. If they even get remote goaltending, they're gonna annoy the shit out of everyone because of the way they play. That
1-3-1 playoffs. Yep.
Yeah, like it. God, if they can just get a save, they're gonna be good. And I'm genuinely curious how close they were to trading for Olmark a couple months ago. Because like if they have Olmark on this team, I maybe am picking them to beat Dallas round 1, but they don't. They just don't.
Very good chance, at least. Yeah.
I don't trust. If there were ever 2 teams that like, I don't give a shit what you do, just go get goaltending. It's them in New Jersey this offseason. Mm-hmm. Like if this season was not any more of a tell that you need to go do that, go do that. Sorry, Phoenix Copley's not the answer this year. Like shocker.
He's kind of a pop out.
Gotta rely on David Riddick. Like, good lord. Man.
Hey, big save, Dave. Once upon a time, traded to the Leafs for a 3rd round pick.
LOL.
But kind of talking about that Allmark trade, like not only LA getting Allmark, like what would have Boston got back? Because Boston needs more center depth, I think. I wonder if LA would have given them like, I don't know, Byfield, but like Turcotte maybe? Yeah.
Turcotte, they have Akil Thomas, they have
who's making his NHL debut, by the way, I believe.
Last night.
I swore he's played in the NHL before, but that just shows you how much depth LA has in their system right now, especially at forwards.
Oh, yeah. Like Jordan Spence, I think, would have been a guy going the other way just for depth for Boston. Like, I don't know. Maybe Arthur Kaliev was a big piece of that.
Ooh, yeah, that is a good. I wonder if that's something that's explored in the offseason because we saw the Devils trade for Jake Allen, and I really think if they made that trade 2 months earlier, they probably make the playoffs and
Mhm.
probably make the third spot.
Also,
That's
I
how
have
good
to
it's
ask
been.
it again. Why the hell are the Kings retaining on Ivan Provorov? Like, I do not. Oh my god, this team is so clueless.
And I'm pretty sure they gave up a draft pick to do so.
Yep, they're stupid. Yeah, Brant Clark's still in their system. Like maybe they finally. I don't. Kings got to figure it out. That's basically what I'm alluding to. I don't know what much else to say about that because they should not be a middling second wild card team the way their forwards are stacked up. Yeah, I also think they need another defenseman. Like, if there's a world where they can go get Noah Hannafin this offseason, that's perfect for what
Oh,
LA
100%.
needs because
He'd
they
be
need a
perfect.
left-handed shot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Jacob Chikrin, like if you could just like, there's so many trades where LA just needs to get off their hands and go make the trade. Like they had the deal for Chikrin 2 years ago, they had the deal for Hellebuck, and they went to Dubois instead, and then they had the deal for Omar. They didn't pull through. Like just pull the trigger at some point, guys, because you only have so many years left to Kopitar and Doughty. It's just what it is. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to do a Kings rant. It's just like I really like some of the players on that team, and it disappoints me when they're that inconsistent because I see them and they're way better than the way they play on the ice. Ugh, it's insane.
oh, 100%. Like if they didn't,
Sorry.
like they give, like you could, like they could have had the same runs that the Oilers had, or even gone further had they not run in them in the first round the past couple of years. Like they had legitimately such good teams. They have a good team now, but it's just that they're not. They've fallen behind. They've kind of stagnated a little bit. Yeah, I think they need to pull the trigger on some trades this off season because it's not. You're like
I think they
Kopitar is
should
still
sign
playing
Trevor
great.
Moore for Taylor Raddysh, honestly. I think that'll fix their problems.
No, not
Just
that. Not just Trevor Moore. Like, just give us a whole line of give us Trevor Moore, give us Philip Deneau, and give us Victor Arvidsson's UFA rights.
God, I wish, bro. I wish. And like this seems going to be interesting in the offseason. Like they got to pay Byfield this offseason. I got to imagine they're going to bridge him. They have Matt Roy off the books, but I would imagine they want to bring him back because they didn't trade him at the deadline. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting what they do. That's for sure. They have $22 million in cap space to play with. Kopitar is taking a $3 million pay cut next year. That helps a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting. That's for sure. England is my city is still on the team next year, though.
England is my city. Oh my god.
Also, Trevor Lewis is still on the Kings.
Oh my god, he is. You know who has had an underrated year for them? And I know it's because he scored a couple times against the Blackhawks. Alex Laferriere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been good this year for them.
11 goals and 70. I mean, not amazing, but it's not bad. It's depth goal scoring.
It's exactly what
For a
you
guy
need.
who was drafted in the third round. Yeah. Alex Laferriere. That is funny.
Also, shout out Alex Ferrier for not showing up on Cap Friendly. Okay. Oh, there he is.
He was there for me.
He's hiding. Yeah, 22 points in 73 games. Like, it's a good year for a rookie. And I'm pretty sure he was like a late draft too.
Yeah, he's like a third round pick, I think. Hi, Stevie. Yeah, Ivan Provorov, 2 years left at $2.025 million, and I'm pretty sure they gave up like a second or a third or something.
Man, that's crazy. You could use that money to get a goalie.
And then Mike Richards is still on the book until he goes beyond 2029, so I don't know when it actually ends.
He goes as long as the Seth Jones deal, baby. Let's go.
I'm looking at their minor, like the minors. They have a guy named Andre Lee. So they have an Alex Laferriere and an Andre Lee. That's just Alexi Lafreniere and Andre Lee
trolling New York teams.
Yeah.
Like no, that's how the Fanatics is going to spell an Alexei Lafreniere jersey and a Anders Lee jersey.
They're gonna mix it up. You're gonna get the Laferriere Rangers jersey and the Lafreniere Kings jersey.
I don't think this is how you spell it, guys. It's like, yeah, it is. He's on the Kings. No.
Bro, I really like my new Connor Beard jersey.
I told someone that they didn't believe me. I was like, yeah, get ready for that. It's coming.
It's already happening with baseball. I mean,
baseball jerseys stink, bro.
Yeah.
They stink.
Like,
Just
I'm
like
so
the White
glad I
Sox.
got a.
Like fitting. All right.
I was gonna say, like, I'm glad I got a couple of those jerseys while they weren't made by Fanatics and actually look good.
I hope you get a
Yeah, I gotta
Bedard
get.
or
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta get a Bedard jersey before that switch because it's next year they switch over, right? And it's like a 10-year contract. What the hell?
yeah. Let's just say I'm glad I got my Bedard jersey. I'm not getting.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. And if they get Celebrini, then I gotta get that too.
First night. I'm not even messing around with that crap.
We're gonna buy it at the Sphere. That's what's gonna happen.
Dude, I almost bought one last year at Nashville. Remember? They had Bedard
Yes.
jerseys there at the Blackhawks party. That was cool. So they get Celebrini. I'd imagine they're there. Also, love that like Powers and Lazarus are talking about Demidov because they don't do that shit without like at least having an ear on the organization. So it's just like last year with Mitchkov. Like they're going to go upside if they're not picking one, which makes me excited.
Yeah, we've talked about it time and time again. Like this front office scouting whatever department, like they've earned the benefit of the doubt. Like for me, they're pretty much locked into top 4. Like if they somehow surpass Anaheim, then they top 5. Then okay, whatever.
Let's go. That
For
means
me,
they beat 2 playoff teams. That's literally what that means.
You know what? I'm for it. Whatever. Like we did that.
Oh no.
we did that last year where we were just so frustrated by every win. I'm like, I don't want to do that again. We got Bedard. Let's just enjoy the wins. Like these guys in the locker room need those wins. Like
oh yeah. They need the good vibes going into the offseason. And like who's to say we don't either? Like I'm gonna enjoy these last couple of Hawks games because they won't play till October after this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know in July I'll be killing to watch a game of them losing 5-0 to the Kings. You know what I mean?
So one last thought on the Fanatics. This is what I was thinking while my internet was being disconnected again. Fanatics is like the Teemu Sheehan of jerseys. How did they get to power? How did this happen? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's a conspiracy theory. Made by
Fanatics has money on a lot of people, a lot of dirt. I'm so
game was starting in probably 10-15 minutes, so we're gonna wrap it up quickly here, and my internet just keeps disconnecting, so that's probably a good sign for it to wrap up. Kind of to wrap up the conversation we had before, like they get top 4, I'm fine because I think they'll go because my top 4 right now, Celebrini number 1, I know, but I mean take your pick.
Shocker.
Take your pick.
Celebrini number 1.
Liberal has a guy from Canada going number 1.
Oh my god.
Let me guess, he's vaxxed and probably has a pride flag in his house too. Oh god, where does it end?
Let me guess, pronouns in bio. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh
Lord. All right.
And then like it's in a tier for me because I would be happy with any of them: Lindstrom, Levshunov, and Demidov. Give me any one of them, and I'm happy. I'm a happy camper.
Yep, that's the 4 I want, and anyone besides that, gonna have to really be convinced on it. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Just like really don't want to see like Yzerman pick 2. Don't think that's the right pick.
Nah, I don't think they do anyways.
Just don't go off.
Yeah. Who's like a guy, like say they drop 4 to 5, like who's a guy where you're like, wasn't expecting it, but like I can get on board with it. Because for me, that'd be like silly AF.
Dickinson, I think I can get on board with either, just because that's a big defenseman to put in the system, especially with how this core has, or this staff has developed big defensemen. I wouldn't have a problem with those. I'd be like, not who I'd pick, but I'm cool with it. Besides that, I really haven't looked at a lot of other forwards. Perrick would be one that would be interesting because that's really against all what Davidson does for defensemen. But I think that would be if they're a situation where they're at like pick 5. I don't know. Honestly, those are the ones. Like, I think if he goes off the board, it's a defenseman he likes. Honestly,
yeah,
Korchinski.
Yeah, Celebrini, obviously number one. Number like 2 through 4, you can go whoever. Lindstrom, Lebashunov, Demidov. I'm okay. After that, I'd probably say Silyaev, Dickinson, and Perrick for me. I can get on board with any of those, but yeah, if they go like, I don't think they would anyways, but if they're going like Yakimchuk number 5, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's a little.
That's crazy. All right, we'll see how that goes if that happens.
Even like the forward crop isn't that great. Like even if they went Catan or Iserman, I'd be like,
it's not a good
Iserman. I could get on with, but yeah.
You know what? I could get on board with Catan at 5. I think I could. Because he showed a lot in the second half of the year. But even then, might be pushing it.
That's pushing it for me, I think. But you know what? We're going to have a guy that's going to talk all about this next podcast. We're having Mitch Brown join on Friday. So looking excited for that. Like, I always love having the prospect guys coming on because we don't have to do any of the talking. They do all the talking. They know their shit. And they just go on and they do it with so much passion. Like, whenever we had Mitch Brown on.
Get your notepads ready.
My handy dandy notebook. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
Oh, it's a cease and desist from Beck.
Damn, how did that happen?
Oh, it always ends up happening. Darn it.
Peter Parker. Oh, how'd that get in there? You know what? I think that's a great place to end it. So.
That's the name of the podcast, too. How'd that get in there?
Yeah, that's going to be the name of the podcast. How'd that get in there?
With like a stupid little smirk smile.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. Yeah, let's end it off. The Blackhawks game is going to start soon. I'm genuinely looking forward to watching the game. I got to be honest.
Time to see Sorokin get a shutout.
Hell yes.
What was
They're going to be an 8-0 loss.
Earlier this year?
Was it? I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm about to look. Let's see what the Blackhawks did against them.
I don't remember. Like, again, November to February is just all a blur in my mind, honestly.
Real. Don't you just hate the winter depression? Everything's just
I really got that wintertime sadness, honestly.
Oh, yeah, listen to someone pick you up. No, that did the opposite. Oh my God.
Yeah, just going. I mean, in my 2014 era, I've never really left it. Really, I've just been listening to Lord, Tuvlo, and Lana Del Rey all the time.
Dude, Tuvlo, always and forever.
Now, if we're talking bodies, you got a perfect one.
Bar. I don't even know when we played the Islanders. Who cares? They probably lost.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet, honestly. So,
facts.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave us a 5-star rating on your preferred podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Google, whatever podcast platform. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notification bell so you don't miss any new videos with our beautiful, gorgeous faces. So yeah, we're having Mitch Brown on Friday. And guess what is next week, next Friday? You'll never guess. It's our 4-year anniversary of the PJScast.
I don't know. What is next Friday?
It's our 4-year anniversary of the PJScast on the 12th.
Let's go!
I can't believe it's been 4 years.
Can't believe
enough about
so fast.
But enough about the election. Can't believe it's been 4 years.
Also, looked it up. Blackhawks actually beat the Islanders this year. So
what?
Take that, guys.
When was that?
January. Seth Jones overtime winner.
Oh, I think I remember that.
They blew a 3-1 lead in the third, and then Seth Jones won in overtime. Boris Kachuk 2-point game for what it's worth.
Who is on Ottawa now?
Ugh, no wonder we didn't remember this game. Freaking Zach Sanford got a point in this one.
That's why I don't remember it.
Dark Ages of No Bedard. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hope
Seth Jones has had a few overtime games,
so that'll be fun.
So yeah, thank you all for tuning in to the podcast, and we will talk to you guys on Friday. Peace out to y'all.